Welcome to this YouTube video where we will discuss on how to apply the principles of inclusive education to create a supportive learning environment. So, before we begin, let us put some faces to names. I'm Tyler Armitage and I created this PowerPoint and designed this video. So basically, I did section A of the Cellfilm project. Then next to me is Shaylin Wilkie. She did page 1 of the reflection, and which is basically part 1 of section B of the project. And finally, the gentleman at the end is Evan Kruger. He did page 2 of the reflection and part 2 of section B of this project. We will be discussing on how to adjust and learn from each other's differences to create inclusion within our education system. Within the South African context, there are many pathways to inclusion. Let's go take a look at some.
Inclusive education is about allowing all learners, irrespective of their shortcomings, an equal opportunity to quality schooling. Inclusive education increases participation and decreases the exclusion of learners. No matter the culture, curricula, and community, all learners are catered for. Inclusive education aims to restructure the policies and practices. It assists to respond to the diversity of learners. Inclusive education is built around the integration and acceptance of all learners, regardless of their behavior, impairments, disabilities, and their unique factors. Implementing inclusive education. Step 1 is to acknowledge all children and youth can learn and need support. Step 2, accept and respect. All learners are unique and have unique needs which should be valued equally. Step 3 is to enable education structures, systems, and learning methodologies to meet the needs of all learners. Step 4, acknowledge and respect differences such as age, gender, language, class, disability, and HIV status. Step 5 is to know that inclusive education is broader than the formal schooling. We need to acknowledge learning can occur at home, in the community, and within formal and informal modes and structures. Step 6, we are required to change our attitudes, behavior, teaching methodologies, curricula, and environment to meet the needs of all learners. Step 7, maximizing and minimizing. We need to maximize participation of all learners in culture and the curricula of educational institutions, and we need to minimize barriers to learning. And finally, step 8, empowering learners through developing individual strengths and enabling critical participation in the learning process. Inclusive education on a school level. Number 1, ensures parental involvement. Number 2, with support from the district, it develops strategies to address barriers of learning. Number 3, involvement of the district supports teachers and learners. Number 4, school-based support teams assist to identify and address learner and institutional needs and barriers. Number 5, establish networks of effective communication between learners, teachers, parents, NGOs, the welfare, and other stakeholders. And number 6, monitor standards of learning and teaching within classrooms.
The pathways to inclusion takes care of the following: academic and social inclusion in mainstream settings via the curriculum differentiation, teachers, attitudes, and inclusive environments, and the barriers and facilitators to inclusion. Principles towards inclusion. Firstly, it's universal design for learning, which is a curriculum development that gives all individuals an equal opportunity to learn. Secondly, is differentiated instructions, which is to modify and adapt instructions, materials, content, projects, and assessments to meet the learning needs of your students. Thirdly, it's established networks of effective communication between learners, teachers, parents, NGOs, the welfare, and other stakeholders. Fourthly, it's understanding by design, which is to focus process to design an effective and holistic learning environment. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us on any of the following emails.